Good day, I am Bible storyteller. Today, I have a treat for you. A Bible story with a modern version. Today we start with the modern version of the Good Samaritan. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there lived a man named Samuel. He was known far and wide for his kindness, generosity, and willingness to help anyone in need. His life revolved around a simple philosophy: be a good Samaritan to all, for kindness is the essence of humanity. Samuel owned a quaint little farmhouse on the outskirts of the village. One day, as the sun began to set, he was sitting on his porch, enjoying the gentle breeze that carried the scent of wildflowers. Suddenly, he heard a faint cry for help coming from the nearby woods. He jumped to his feet and hurried in the direction of the sound. There, lying on the ground, was a wounded traveler. The stranger's clothes were tattered, and he looked exhausted and in pain. Samuel's heart went out to him, and without hesitation, he rushed to the man's side. "Are you okay?" Samuel asked with genuine concern. The traveler managed a weak smile. I was attacked by bandits. They took everything I had and left me here to die." Samuel's heart sank at the cruelty of such an act. He gently lifted the injured man and carried him back to his farmhouse. Tenderly, he cleaned the wounds and tended to his needs, providing warm food and a comfortable bed. Days turned into weeks as the Good Samaritan nursed the stranger back to health. During this time, they exchanged stories and became fast friends. The traveler's name was David, and he had been on a long journey, seeking answers to questions that plagued his heart. He had heard tales of Samuel's kindness and had hoped to find a true example of compassion in the world. As David regained his strength, he couldn't help but be inspired by Samuel's selflessness and the love he showered on those around him. He decided to stay in the village for a while, hoping to learn from the wise and benevolent man. Together, they embarked on various charitable endeavors, always ready to lend a helping hand to those in need. They set up a small shelter for the homeless, where they provided food, clothing, and a safe place to sleep. They organized gatherings to uplift the spirits of the downtrodden and organized free medical camps to treat the sick. Word of Samuel's and David's deeds spread throughout the village and beyond. Many villagers joined their cause, and the small shelter soon turned into a thriving charity organization. People from far-off places came to seek their guidance and to learn from their wisdom. One day, as they were sitting by a cozy fire in the farmhouse, a stranger appeared at the door. He introduced himself as Joseph, a merchant whose cart had broken down nearby. He had no place to stay for the night and was in desperate need of help. Samuel and David immediately welcomed Joseph and provided him with a warm meal and a place to rest. As they talked, Joseph revealed that he had always been focused on his business, never sparing time or thought for others in need. Touched by Samuel's and David's compassion, Joseph felt a change in his heart. He realized that wealth alone couldn't bring true happiness, but sharing and caring for others did. Inspired by their example, Joseph decided to change his ways. He joined their cause and began contributing to the charity organization, providing funds and resources to help even more people. As time passed, Samuel, David, and Joseph continued to touch countless lives with their kindness. They became legendary figures in the region, known for their selflessness, empathy, and the transformative impact they had on people's lives. And so, the story of the Good Samaritan spread far and wide, becoming a beacon of hope and inspiration for generations to come. They showed the world that a simple act of kindness, extended to a stranger in need, could ignite a chain of compassion that would ripple through time and space, forever changing the lives of many for the better. The Parable of the Good Samaritan. Luke 10 verses 25 to 37. And behold, a lawyer stood up to put him to the test, saying, "Teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?" He said to him, "What is written in the law? How do you read it?" And he answered, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." And he said to him, "You have answered correctly, do this, and you will live." But he, desiring to justify himself, said to Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" Jesus replied, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he fell among robbers, who stripped him and beat him and departed, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a priest was going down that road, and when he saw him he passed by on the other side. So likewise a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he journeyed, came to where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. He went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he set him on his own animal and brought him to an inn and took care of him. And the next day he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper, saying, 'Take care of him, and whatever more you spend, I will repay you when I come back.' Which of these 3, do you think, proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell among the robbers?" He said, "The one who showed him mercy." And Jesus said to him, "You go, and do likewise."